nerve-wracking. Could be people walk past, that would be a first. Let me try and explain where Outdoor Dean, where the whole concept had come from. It was, I spend a lot of time outdoors, and I'm artistic. I like creating. See, I create art. I'm very much into photography. I had my own studio and gallery for a while, which was amazing. I'm a creative, you know. My mind's always creating, wanting to create, whether it's words or it's pictures, words and pictures. I used to watch that at school. So I thought, well, I'm always outdoors, but I'm more in the woods and stuff like that. So I thought it would be good to create something whilst I'm out, and I thought, why not do some videos? Because I think other people might be interested in what I get up to and what I've learned over the years of being out in the woods. And you know, this is no mean feat for me to be in front of a camera talking. You know, I'm not unaccustomed as I am, you know, to public speaking. Although people have gone, bloody hell, you're doing really well at it, but I've surprised myself, really. You know, it's not something that I ever envisaged myself doing, would be to be in front of a camera. You know, I'm usually behind the camera taking photographs. Like portrait photography was my favourite, but it still is. So anyway, so I just thought that I would take you along with me. You know, I plan. I'll probably get on your nerves. I'll get on people's nerves in real life, so why not get on people's nerves through a lens? You know, I'm very into what I do. You know, I want to know everything. I want to look at everything. I want to look at it close. I want to pick it up. I want to touch it. I want to feel it. I want to smell it. You know, so you know, the woods is ideal for that, isn't it? You know, because it's all textures and smells and sights. You know, stuff going on, like fungus is one of my favourites. As people who will know me will know, I'm very into fungus. Yeah, I'm into all things. You know, not just the woods, but woods, because woods are more peaceful, aren't they? You know, I'm into cities. You know, I love going to London. I work in London sometimes. Work in London quite a lot. I enjoy it. I enjoy the tube. You know, I enjoy the hustle and bustle. But then I enjoy this more. You know, I enjoy the quiet. But you know, everything has its time and its own place, doesn't it, for the way that you're feeling at the time. You know, sometimes I want the hustle and the bustle. Other times I don't want it. You know, other times I want to just be sat under a tree and just listen and smell. It's I think they call it forest bathing now, don't they? Or they've been calling it, but you know, that's a relatively, it's an old term from Japan, but it's been picked up now. You know, I remember reading a thing in the paper, because people used to read newspapers once, and I remember reading a thing about doctors who were going to prescribe outdoors to people and try and wean them off antidepressants. Which, you know, what do I know about antidepressants? Nothing. But what I do know is that you know, when I go for a good long walk, even a short walk works. You know, I was told that. You know, you know, my mental health has suffered over the years, but you know, I was told about, you know, if you're sat at home and you feel a bit unhappy, get up and go out, even if it's raining, even if it's midnight, if it's safe, go out, walk around the block, go for a 2-mile walk, walk around the block, because when you come back, you'll feel different. I'm not saying you'll feel cured, but you'll certainly feel different. You might feel colder, you might feel more tired, but you'll feel different. You know, and that's, if you're feeling unhappy, feeling different from unhappy, it's got to be a plus, isn't it? And if you don't feel different and happier, go out again, make a cup of tea. But anyway, so you know, I was sort of self-taught about the wonders of hiking, call it hiking or call it walking. You know, I do some long walks on my own. Sometimes I have company, sometimes on my own. Usually I'm on my own. And you know, it's an emotional thing. So as you're walking up and down the hills, also I can't speak for anyone else, but my emotions are going up and down. You know, I'm mulling things over in my head, and I'm trying to put things right, and then sometimes I'm so in my head that I could walk for an hour and not even remember what I've walked, where I've been, because I know where I've been, but I couldn't remember anything of the walk because I've been in my head. So then I'll try and stay in the moment of the walk of going, wow, look at this, look at this, look at that, look at this, picking up stone. I'll pick up shit on the way, not literally shit, but I'll pick up stones. Well, that's enough. I've got a collection of stones. You know, it's I try and stay in the moment of the walk, which is why you'd always find me darting off, going, wow, look at this, look, wow. I'm trying to stay focused instead of being in here. I want to be out here. So I've digressed massively, of course I have. But getting back to, I hope I'm in shot. Probably not. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing. I'm going to take you with me on some of my journeys. I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I enjoy doing. When it's not so hot, I wouldn't light a fire now in the woods. It's literally begging to catch fire. But when it's cooled down a bit, you know, I'm experienced with fires. I've been lighting fire. You know, I use twig stoves and stuff like that. But even I wouldn't do it now. I don't even got a thermos. Bring hot water. Because even a spirit stove and that, I'm a bit. I don't know really. You know, I wouldn't risk it because it's so dry. You know, if it's when it's just dry and you go, oh look, that's glowing a bit. You know, you can sort of get on top of it. But when it's like this, it'll just, before you know it, you're going to have an inferno, and that is not something that I would ever want to do. Obviously, I don't think it's something that anyone would ever want to do, hopefully. But anyway, so when it's not so tinder dry and that, I'll show you some of the meals I make. I make like a dal and stuff, like from scratch, and you know, over a little open fire and stuff like that. So, you know, and I've started doing sleep outs, which is a whole nother thing that I can talk to you about expanding my comfort zone. Do you know what I mean? And I'll tell you about that another time, so I don't want to go on too much with this. But anyway, that's where I'm at, and I hope that you're going to enjoy coming along with me for some of the walks and some of the talks and some of the stuff that I do. Thank you.